Former Mumford & Sons musician speaks out on professional punishment for artists like Alice Cooper. Marshall left folk rock band Mumford & Sons after tweeting support for book that exposed Antifa radicalism. Exclusive, former Mumford & Sons musician Winston Marshall shared his frustrations about the apparent professional punishment for artists who dare to challenge progressive ideology in a new interview. Marshall made headlines in 2021 after he left the folk rock band Mumford & Sons following the uproar after he tweeted his support for a book by conservative author Andy Ngo that explored the left-wing radicalism of Antifa, Unmasked, Inside Antifa's Radical Plan to Destroy Democracy. Knowing what it feels like to be cancelled, Marshall empathized with the likes of singers who have faced the music as of late. Oliver Anthony, a country artist from Farmville, Virginia, released a single called "Rich Men North of Richmond" that resonated with struggling, everyday Americans. But he was demonized in some corners by liberal media for having put out a so-called right-wing anthem. Rolling Stone magazine published a piece about the popular single entitled, "Right-Wing Influencers Just Found Their Favorite New Country Song." The piece noted that the lyrics may appeal to right-wing influencers, in part because Anthony rails against high taxes and the value of the dollar, but also wades into some Reagan-era talking points about welfare. Oliver Anthony, for example, working-class guy, has this song which resonates with millions upon millions, not just in America, but across the world, people, the left-behind working classes. And they just can't even process it, Marshall said of the media in an interview with SSN 24. So they sort of embarrassed themselves. Marshall singled out Rolling Stone's write-up of Anthony, who has since said he doesn't identify with either side of the political aisle and has won plaudits as untarnished by partisan politics. "You're certainly seeing a massive gap between the media and the people," Marshall said. "And I wrote about this, particularly the response by Rolling Stone magazine. If you could see that they attempted a takedown of Oliver Anthony, they're the magazine that used to be the voice of counterculture. Now they don't know counterculture when it slaps them in the face." Marshall referenced two other artists who'd been targeted for their views, including Irish singer Roisin Murphy and rocker Alice Cooper. Murphy, the former lead singer for the band Maloko, caused an uproar after posting a private Facebook message saying that puberty blockers were harmful to kids. Murphy later apologized for her Facebook message, particularly to her LGBTQ fanbase, saying she realized her comments have been directly hurtful to many of you. Cooper, meanwhile, lost a cosmetics deal after referring to transgenderism as a fad. "All of those things were true," Marshall said of Murphy's comments. "And you have it happen to Alice Cooper this summer. Vampire Cosmetics dropped him because he said, 'Just because you identify as a tree, doesn't mean you are one,' or something along those lines. There still remains professional punishment for saying things that are true but are not correct, according to progressive orthodoxies.